Hello, Team Absolution fans far and wide. It is that time. It's been about 2 weeks since we've seen you, and it's time to do damage check. First things first, I'm joined with the ever-present 6th Ranger, Andrew.
Ever-present? What are you talking
Is he
about?
supposed to not be here?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm running out of ways to creatively introduce you guys. And the man with the new Keith, the man with the lacking internet. We got the Doombringer Griffin.
I don't know why I can't handle video, my guys, but you get to continue to... Hey, should I put on my Card Fight Cash little graphic?
Yeah, put that on.
People love that thing. They love not having video.
All right, so we're going to wait about 2 minutes, let people trickle in, and then...
Ryan finish the tater tots.
Let Ryan finish his tater tots, and then we'll get started. A lot of great gaming news came out recently. The Monster Hunter was announced today. The Smash Invitational for Smash 2018 was announced a few days ago.
Smash 5.
And then the Nintendo Online service was also announced. It's crazy.
Do we have to pay for that?
Yes.
Yes.
But
it's
is it
only
mandatory?
if you want to play online, yeah.
Okay.
It'll be $20 a year. It's not bad at all.
Hey, cloud saves.
That's all that matters.
That's true. Yeah. All right. I would pay. I paid $5 a year for bank. I'll pay $20 a year for cloud saves. That's fine.
Well, you also get the cool thing is you get 20. Well, they announced 20 games to start with, like 20 NES games that you get to play, and you get to play them online as well, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, but they're also not. They've also confirmed they're not doing Virtual Console for the Switch.
No. So here's the thing, though. You have to look at that press release. They said that they will not be releasing games under the Virtual Console banner. So that's very deceptively worded for me to believe that they're not, because that's too much of a cash cow not. I think that they're going to be releasing SNES, GBA, and all those kind of games through their online service or something like that. I don't know exactly how they work it out, but old games are going to come. It's just they're not that stupid. They're not. It's just they want to. I think they're going to kill the Virtual Console name, the brand of it.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I got a message. All right, so let's get started here on Damage Check. We're going to give you the news, spoilers, everything and the like. All right, here we go. We're going to start with Ashur Kaiser.
Woo! Way back in the day.
Yep.
This was on April 30th. And so here's the thing, though. So let me justify this. All right. So when we met up, so we scheduled Damage Check on Mondays. I talked about this in the Fortnite stream. On Mondays is when I schedule Damage Check. Is when I'm like, all right, here's who's going to be on it, depending on schedule, and I kind of come up with the topic. Last Monday, we hadn't had anything of spoiler significance, nothing. And I was like, you know what? There's really nothing spoiler wise to talk about. Camera. Okay, there's nothing really newsworthy. I'm running out of topics while we wait for standard and premium to get in full swing. I was like, we'll skip Damage Check this week. We'll do it next week. And then on Monday we got I think Tsukiyomi or something like that. We got a bunch of leaks. And then Tuesday we got Ashur Kaiser. And I was like, this is stupid. This is not what I wanted. Or it was the days leading up to it. We finally started to get some spoilers. So by Wednesday I could have maybe done it, but I was like, nah. So now we just got a lot of spoilers to talk about.
Turn up.
Shantae for Smash. No, seriously though, I just picked up Shantae for Switch, completely unrelated. But the chat just said Shantae for Smash. I would totally love Shantae for Smash. That's a great platformer. I think everyone should play that game. Anyways, Ashur Kaiser, Auto, Vanguard. When your drive check reveals a grade 2 or greater card, stand one of your units And if the reveal card is a grade 3 or greater, cost counterblast 1, and that unit gets power plus 10k until the end of turn. I'm a fan of this card, to be honest. I have like no problems with it.
Is it as good as it could have been? No. But does it do something functional? Yes. That's my opinion.
I mean, for a double R grade 3, it's pretty good.
It's triple R.
It's a triple R.
Yeah.
It's their only triple R.
My bad. I still think it's pretty good, to be honest. I think I mean, it's a better version of a Shurikaiser.
Yeah, but was a Shurikaiser original form that good?
I mean, he was when you combined it with a Shura Dragon. Or Azure Dragon.
Well, we don't have Azure Dragon.
Yeah,
but the thing is, like, was he not good in set 1? Like original set 1?
Nobody played a Shurikaiser set 1.
People tried.
They tried. It didn't work.
It just needed more stuff. But in any case, I think this card's fine. Andrew, what are your problems with this card?
I guess it's fine. The thing is that okay. So the best this card is going to do is like counterblast 2, stand 2 units, give them 2k, give them plus 10k each. Or like if you just check grade 2s, you can stand 2 units, which is fine since you have the Excel circles. But it just feels underwhelming, right? Like it's got a 12k base, so it can't even hit a 13 by itself on the rear guard. Not that you want it there. Like it just, I wanted it to do more. Because now that stands are gone, the only way to stand is check a G2 or higher. So it's kind of like separating your triggers into like, well, you have your front triggers / draw / heals, and then you have like your grade 2 and 3s that stand your units, and it feels not good.
Now, I will agree with what you said, Andrew, because I think you're right, and I was kind of thinking this myself. While I think this card is fine, I think the way it meshes with the game as a whole as it is in Standard is kind of off. Because the whole thing about Nova Grapplers is, okay, you can attack with your rear guards, and you can find stand triggers, or you can use your Vanguard effects and just stand them anyway. And either the effects were so free you no longer needed to use stand triggers, or they were more like, or your rear guards were so good that you wanted them to stand no matter what. And you constructed your deck either crit heavy or stand heavy based on that fact. Well, now without the possibility of stand triggers in a standard format, stand triggers in a standard format, this card just seems worse for wear when you consider it within the game as a whole, in my opinion.
All right, so now
I'm going to play fine, but I don't think it has a space.
All right, so now I'm going to play some Devil's Advocate. All right, so here's my thing.
So say his favorite game.
So you're
Devil's Advocate for Smash.
So you're arguing that. Here's the thing, though. Okay, before you said, okay, I can check grade 3s or I can check stand triggers. But how many stands was that deck running? Like 8? If it was running 8, then you still get more from the grade 2s that you probably might have in the deck still. Like adding grade 2s into the thing is a countermeasure to losing the stand trigger. As far as this deck is concerned. Also, this is also the only card, like this is the only clan right now that can stand units. There is no stand trigger in the game, so it's the only card that has that mechanic.
That's what I thought.
Perfect Riser, which we'll talk about later.
But I mean, like, that's what I thought, though, is that it's unreliable stand. Because what happens if you plan for a stand, you swing with your Excel circles, and then you check 2 front triggers? You're really sad. But then what happens when you plan for the front triggers, and you don't attack with your rear guards, and you swing with Shurikaiser, and you check 2 grade 2s, then you're just like, value. It's like it's hard to play around.
Yeah, that's where the argument comes from. Sure, you can balance it and swing with one line, and then swing a Shurikaiser, and you get an entire extra line, which is really cool, and that line gets plus 20k. That's great. I mean, you could play it that way, and then you're less sad, and you're trying to min-max here. But I'm saying it doesn't mesh well as a whole, unlike some other effects Nova Grapplers have had, where it's just stand stuff when you attack. So you can always, it's guaranteed. This isn't guaranteed, and thus in the state of the game where we're at, it's a little wonky.
Okay. Okay. I'll take the most valid argument I heard was the 12k base. But like the rest of it, like I think it's
they're all gonna have 12k base.
Like the thing about it being a 12k base, that sucks. But like the rest of it, I'm like, I mean, it's no more inconsistent than like the original Sure Kaiser was, and you get a plus 10k if you check the grade 3, and you have an extra circle, which also other decks don't have.
Mm-hmm. The extra
so
circle
like
matters.
you can sacrifice the extra circle. You can sacrifice a column if you have an because okay, let's say hypothetically I swing with one column and then I swing with my Vanguard and I check 2 front triggers. I'm not gonna be a sad guy. Because if I check 2 front triggers or 2 triggers, I still have 2 other dudes that I can apply that to. It's still 4 attacks to my opponent's most likely 3.
No, you make a good point. NXLs always have that plus 10k circle.
Yeah. The plus 10k
So it's almost
really
like
relevant.
you can hit triggers anyway. You're more or less building a trigger with a Shurikaiser plus an Excel circle, and you're pretty happy about having that.
Yeah, that's fair
and
enough.
Shurikaiser
If you
is the one providing you that circle, so you don't need to play anything else to have it.
I just want to compare it to Perfect Riser when we get there, and then we can talk about it again then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, though, like, here's the thing. Obviously, I think we can all agree this isn't the main grade 3 of the set. But, I mean, like, it's definitely the secondary one, you know? Like,
Maybe.
You know?
It might be. It's the triple ARPA set.
Maybe. Yeah.
All right, so next we're going to talk about I'll talk about really quick about the Miss Mist is the PG for OTT. It's also a draw trigger in the set at least. And then there's a 9K, at least according to the commercial, there is a 9K grade 1 booster for Novas without any shield value. So take that for what you will. That's pretty. I think that's
I'm looking at the picture.
I don't know. It doesn't hit numbers. What do you do with it? I guess you could boost a 14k. You boost a 14k with it, and it hits numbers.
That's true.
Have we seen? I'm sure Nova Grapples will have a little more power on the rear guards in exchange for having a little less power on the Vanguard.
Yeah, they have the 9k plus.
We haven't
5.
seen a lot of their rear guards.
We saw that one. There's a 9k plus 5.
Yeah,
That's a 14.
Yeah. Okay. All right,
so next
I
is
thought about this.
The triple R for OTT is Hio Materasu. Triple R, of course. Act Vanguard once per turn cost, counterblast 1, draw card. Look at the top card of your deck and put that card on the top or the bottom of your deck. Then the second skill is Auto Vanguard Rear Guard. When you look at your deck during your turn, this unit gets power plus 5k into the end of turn. Look at reveal and search effects trigger this. This effect gets power plus 5k no matter how many cards are looked at. So this isn't a per card. This is a per instance.
Mm-hmm. Per skill.
Per skill. So at first, okay. So I'll throw it to Ryan. Ryan, what are your thoughts here on this?
Really good. I mean, if it is in fact per instance, then yeah, this card is definitely going to be your most likely backup grade 3, and it's not bad on the Vanguard either. This just seems like an overall pretty good card. I think the only way they could have made it slightly better is to let you choose which card you draw, like have it the look at effect first, and then decide if you want that card or not. That would have been like a little bit cooler, I think. They probably could have just done that without changing the card too much or affecting its overall power level. I kind of wish they had done that, but other than that, this card's secondary effect is just pretty great. Doesn't hit lines though because it's 12k. So take that as you will.
I mean, okay, Andrew.
Yeah, when I first saw this card, I was like, "No, it's not as good as I wanted it to be," but it's actually pretty good. Like, there's a lot of scry effects in OTT right now. The Vanguard skill is reasonable. Like CB1 draw 1 is fine for this for the start of the game, and then scry 1 is great. The fact that there's so much scry that's been revealed allows you to buff up Amaterasu to like a 22k by yourself, which is pretty good. I don't know if you want to like continuously reride grade 3s to get the protects, or if you want to call her to the rear guard to attack with. Depends on what kind of rear guards you get. Depends on what Silent Tom does, and it really depends on what Imperial Dollar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna agree with a lot of what Andrew's saying here. I thought this card was pretty meh until we did get that leak that showed a lot of OTT. Basically, a lot of their grade 1s, grade 2s tend to be scry cards where you get to look at the top, which is amazing because this makes this card a lot more playable. And really, I think he's a fine Vanguard. I think he's a great beat stick.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great because I mean, like this with a booster. If the booster's 8K, if the booster's 8K, then this is 20, and then you just have to look at it once to hit a stage, even against a 13K base.
Well, the 5K is an auto stage, so
yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, like, all you need to do is do it once, and then you hit, like a 10K shield kind of thing. So, so yeah, I like it. Any other words, Ryan, Andrew?
Not on Amy.
Okay. So there's something I want to go over really quick. Is this the Nova leaks with this new hero race, which I'm like very much a fan of.
How'd I guess?
So I won't go through them all, but they tend to like work with each other, obviously, and they seem to be pretty interesting. I don't know if they're going to get a grade 3 or a double R grade 3 boss or something like that, but they're pretty interesting. I'm not going to go through all their skills, but yeah, just a new race. So enjoy that.
Hero.
So I'm surprised that we got this in Novas and not in like Dimensional Police, but I'm okay with it.
It is a little weird, yeah. Maybe we'll have shared races across clans again.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool. All right.
Anyway, let's start with Miss Splendor. Miss Splendor, auto, Vanguard Rearguard Circle. It's a single R, grade 3. During the battle that your hero attacked, your opponent cannot intercept. If you have more rearguards than your opponent, the attacking unit gets power plus 3K. So it's a 5K beater for free on the rearguard and prevents your opponent from intercepting. That's okay. Gets power on the rearguard, which is nice.
If only it wasn't a grade 3, it'd be busted. It'd be really good if it wasn't a grade 3. Because it's like, oh yeah, just attack and here's a free plus 3K. You call more of them down, get more 3Ks. Plus 9K for 3 of them, that's pretty good. But it's a grade 3, so.
I mean, but this is, if you're playing standard only, it's fine to play grade 3s as rearguards because you're not using them for anything else. What are they? PG fodder? It's.
But just thinking that it's like.
Now, if you're playing like premium, then this card's useless because of course it is. But I think the only reason this card is kind of bad is because it doesn't have gift.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, but like the problem is the ride, right? Like G-Assist still has to be like you don't have any copies in hand. If you have like 2 copies of this in hand, you don't want to ride her, even though you can, I guess. But it just feels bad if you don't ride the right grade 3. Might be good support.
It always felt bad
if
you didn't ride the right grade 3 back then.
Yeah, like if you're running an Ashura Kaiser deck, I think you probably run this card.
That would be bad. We're actually going to skip the rest of these, though, Ryan, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, they're just basics.
They're just basic heroes. I do want to make a note that I'm starting to build up an argument that I think that Forerunners are going to work differently in Standard. I don't think we're going to get Forerunners in like their typical form because we'll talk about Battle Riser later as well, and we'll also talk about Tap the Hyper, who's the grade 0. And also the promo that was given out in one of the tournaments, they all had the skill that when you ride this unit, you draw a card. They all did. So I'm starting to build up this thing where I don't think we get Forerunners. I think we get these. And like, given how integral Battle Riser is to the Riser, or like how the Battle Riser seems to synergize with some of the deck, I think that's the thing. So. Which is, we can talk about that like when we get to news and when we get to topics about the set and stuff. But I think that's where Forerunners are going.
Mm-hmm.
At least for the here and now. And then we got some leaks for OTT, right, Ryan?
Yeah, we got a bunch of OTT, mostly rares and commons, but it all pretty much fits the theme. Draw a card, Soul Blast 1, this unit gets plus 6K. When you can draw a card, when this unit is placed, that sort of stuff.
Scry effects.
So it all just works together.
Top or bottom.
It's fine.
Yep. It's all a bunch of scries. Yeah. It's pretty good.
And now we get to my boy from way back, Flame of Hope, Ermo. Yeah. Flame of Hope, Ermo, grade 1, triple R, Continuous rearguard circle. During the battle it boosted, this unit gets power plus 3k. So it's basically auto 11. Auto rearguard circle. When your opponent's rearguard is retired during your turn, cost retire this unit, draw a card, and countercharge 1. Okay. I'm playing this card. There's no reason not to play this card.
Cycle and countercharge, yeah. Get your Dracono Warlord counterblast back. 11k booster. Seems strong.
Source management, a little bit of card draw. Pretty powerful boost. It seems pretty good to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's got everything you want out of a good like tech card. You know, if you need aggression, it's got power. If you need to draw a card, it can do that. If you need to countercharge, it can do that too. It can really do anything you need it to do. So it's like, I have a very hard time. I have a very hard time not believing that it's a good card. Like, it's hard for someone to convince me I wanted more out of this card, and I'm like, I don't understand.
It's a fine card. It's an 8k grade 1 with good skills. It's fine. It's totally fine.
I actually think the rare is also pretty good. The Lizard Soldier Wyopia. When your opponent's rearguard is retired during your turn, this unit gets +5 game until the end of turn. Like, that's a good card.
That's pretty alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's just like for a grade 1 8k. Like, I'm like, yeah, use that. Like, I mean, because the thing is, like, because you know how grade 2 retire, right, Ryan? Like in standard, right?
There is, yeah. There's grade 2 retire.
Yeah, so like you could drop this on grade 2, retire some stuff, and you can get a solid like just beating people up until like you get them to grade 3 and then kill them. So next. Oh, you missed
Battle.
Okay. Who did I miss?
Missed Battledore Fighter?
I didn't get. Not on my list. You're probably looking at the Discord.
All right, so Battledore Fighter. I cannot tell what rarity this one was, but it is a grade 3 human hero Nova Grappler with Excel gift. Act Vanguard once per turn, counterblast 1, soul blast 1. Choose one of your rear guards, and during this turn, when that unit attacks, your opponent cannot call Guardians unless they call 2 or more at the same time. And then Vanguard Rearguard Circle, when it attacks a Vanguard, if you have 3 or more rearguards, this unit gets +5k till the end of the battle.
Right. I remember this card now. It's actually pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah. It's like you give the skill to your Excel circle, and it's like it's a 22k beater or something, and then you might be able to stand it with some effect. But unfortunately, Battledore Fighter himself doesn't have any stand skills on the Vanguard circle, and since there's no stand triggers, it means that it's only guaranteed 1 attack that they have to double guard with, unless there's some other rearguard effect that lets you stand rearguards.
Yeah. I think he's a good card. I think that he could be teched in. I just don't think that, because of what you said, I just don't think he could be the boss. Obviously. Maybe it's a budget build, but I mean, like, I don't know. Ryan's having some technical issues, but Ryan, are you still in there? He muted his mic.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
It's 7:55, and that, you know what that means. My internet speed cuts out for 60 seconds for whatever reason.
What do you think of that card, the Nova Grappler?
The Battledore Fighter.
I echo Andrew's sentiment. This is fine. I mean, Risers have always had that. Okay, if you don't have anything, you can get some extra power. Like old high-powered Riser Custom used to be, if you have a Battle Riser in this column and he's a crappy booster, you can just swing and get extra power. Like that was all fine. I'm glad they're keeping that motif. We want this though, unless you find that you're going all in and never have any cards.
Yeah. Also, by the way, there is a grade 2. We're going to talk about it in a second with the Risers that can stand stuff.
Yeah,
so
we will have that.
So I mean,
I was using the old high-powered Riser Customs effect.
Yeah, the old plus 8k.
Yeah, but the new one can also do a similar skill where it can stand something. So, so yeah. All right. So next, I'm gonna skip Maximum Riser. One When it's not boosted and attacks the Vanguard, it gets plus 10k. Not bad. So I guess I did just cover it. And then the other card is when another rear guard is placed, this unit gets power plus 3k until the end of turn. These are very good. These are very good tech cards. I have no problem with these cards. These cards are pretty nice, to be honest.
10k booster for calling 1, that's fine.
Yeah, it's totally okay. Now we're going to talk to the big Mama Jama. The first VR release, right? The first VR spoiler.
Yes, the very first one.
Finally. Jesus. All right, so Perfect Riser. So I'll go through him first. When it attacks, cost Counterblast 2. Choose 2 of your rear guards in the front row and stand them. Really quick judge question, Andrew. Does the Excel unit count as a front row?
Yes, the Excel unit is in the front row.
Okay, just making sure. And then Auto Vanguard, when its attack hits, if you have a card with Riser in its card name in your soul, countercharge 1, and choose one of your units. It gets power plus 5k until the end of turn. Ryan, what do you think?
So, I think this card is, I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Sorry, I was having trouble. So I think this card is, as Andrew and I were saying, just the more guaranteed version of Ashura Kaiser. You're just paying Counterblast for it, and that's, in this case, pretty okay. He has Countercharge attached to him, so there's your resource management. He gives less power, but that's fine. And honestly, if you're using Ashura Kaiser to its full effect, you're probably paying Counterblast 2 anyway, and he doesn't give those back. So I think this card is just absolutely better overall. You can just get more attack. 6 attacks out of this. One of them already has plus 10k because it's Excel. That's me.
Possibly
This card is
2
just
for
the
you, right?
obvious choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
What about you, Andrew? Go ahead.
Yeah. So like I was saying with Ashura Kaiser, right? Like if you attack with Ashura Kaiser and you check 2 front triggers when you attacked with rear guards, you're sad. If you check 2 grade 2s and you hope for front triggers, you're sad. Here, it's like you can swing with your rear guards, and then you guaranteed restand them and hope to check your front triggers anyway. So granted, your grade 2s don't do anything, but you're not doing like suboptimal plays that you'll regret. So the odds of high rolling are lower, but it's much more consistent, which is really what you want in Vanguard, is a more consistent card that gives you consistent advantage. Especially if you rewrite them and get 2 Excel circles, like, okay, stand these 2 plus 10Ks, sure. I'll take that.
Yeah, let me also make this very clear. I was never going to make the argument that Ashura Kaiser is better than this card. Ashura Kaiser, I think, is a better card than you guys are leading on. He's not Perfect Riser. I think Perfect Riser is a great card. I think Perfect Riser it is consistent, which is what you want out of a main boss. Granted, everyone in this world would like 2 main bosses that are both equally consistent, but that's just not how the game works. You get a main boss that's consistent, you get a secondary boss that's like, kind of consistent. Except unless Chicago, they're probably going to get 2 gods and we're all going to cry. But the rest of us, we have to deal with what we can get here. And so, Perfect Riser, I think, is great. I mean, there's really nothing that I have against it at this particular juncture. Like, the hit kind of stinks, but it's a good balancing thing. And or else you could have just put the card as Counterblast 1 instead of Counterblast 2. So, and the power plus 5k is nice, and you have to have the Riser and Soul. So, yeah. Andrew, do you want to give us a high-power Riser custom?
Yeah, high-powered Riser custom. So when it's placed, you choose a Battle Riser from your soul, and you call it to the rear guard in the same column as this card. So it's a 9k, and it pulls out, what is this, a 6k starter? Yeah, your Battle Riser is a 6k starter. So it makes a 15k column, which is not amazing. And then V and R, when your attack hits the Vanguard, you can Counterblast 1 and put a Battle Riser back into your soul. And if you do, you stand one of your other rear guards.
Well, I think the reason that you take the Battle Riser out of the soul is to put the Battle Riser back in the soul.
Yeah, and just keep doing it.
I think that's kind of the thing there. It's like you want to take the Battle Riser out of the soul so you can put it back in the soul.
But it feels weak, right? It's a 15k column that has to hit. And even if you hit like a front trigger, it's a 25k, which is a 15k shield.
I mean, maybe, but I mean, it puts enough pressure that it's going to get those cards out of hand. That's the thing.
That's true.
It's less the raw power of it, but it demands to be guarded. It's not a swing you can just like chuckle at and be like, I'm no guard this, like crap. Like no, like you have to give it some consideration. Ryan, I'm leaving you over in the corner there. What do you think of high power riser custom?
Okay. What do I think about this card? Let's see. I think it's a lot deadlier. I honestly like that its effect is on hit here, and you'll probably hear me talk often about how much I don't like on hit effects. In this case, I think it works. It's in a stand-centric deck, and like Jose said, absolutely demands pressure at all times. So the fact that this can be easily stood with Perfect Riser, and although to actually use the effect is a little cost-heavy, you're probably just going to blow them out if you ever get 3 additional attacks in a turn when you're already getting an additional attack from the Excel Circle. It's already high-powered and is ridiculous. So, in conclusion, I like this card. It's weak, but as Jose said, it demands pressure. Or it demands a response, rather. Creates pressure.
Yeah, that's fine, actually. If you ride this card and pull a Battle Riser out, kind of like a Forerunner, and then you call some other rear guard, you snipe with your rear guard, you swing with the Vanguard, are they going to guard your Vanguard attack?
That is true.
Right.
Early game, we got to remember that Nova Grapplers is an aggressive clan, and it's being styled that way. So I didn't think about that, Andrew. That's good.
Yeah, it's some early game here.
Absolutely agree. Next is Riser Custom. So I'll hit up Riser Custom real quick. So Act Vanguard once per turn cost. Choose a card from your hand and put it into your soul. This unit can attack on the first turn and it gets drive -1 until the end of turn. And then the second skill is auto rear guard once per turn. When your other rear guard in the same column as this unit stand, you may stand this unit as well. So I'm a huge fan of this card. Like I am a huge fan. Like that is such a cool skill.
I don't like this card.
So I'll give it to Andrew first. Andrew,
why don't you like this card?
So the first skill, right? It's only good if you're going first. It's an 8K. You lose a card and you lose your drive. Well, I mean, you didn't have a drive to begin with, but you lose a card to attack, right? So you start with the aggression. But remember, Forerunners don't exist anymore. This is an 8K attacking a 6K. A single trigger just completely blocks it, and you don't have a drive. You lose a card out of your hand. So you're trading 1 card for 1 card, essentially. But quality-wise, I feels like it's not going to be as... You're going to come out worse than that. But I like the rearguard skill. Like when you're rearguarding the column stands, you stand this one too. I like that. But I don't like the first skill.
Ryan, what do you think?
Yes. Okay. I think that this is a pretty good indication of what Nova Grapplers will want to do. And, I mean, I think they need to win the game quickly. They have the tools to win it later, or so we're led to believe based on the fact that they just get a bunch of extra circles. Will that be enough? We're not really sure. But while it's not terribly advantageous, you can always catch your opponent out. What are they willing to give up? I mean, the main thing with aggro, the main way to beat aggro is to just, 1, have more resources, but 2, is to be able to maintain those resources for longer and not lose them. In a game like Vanguard, where your hand is everything, I'm interested to see that Nova Grappler has cards that function without a perfect hand, like you have that common grade 3 we were talking about earlier, which might work in tandem with this strategy, where you just want to hit your opponent as many times as possible, make them toss everything that can beat you out the window, and then you just beat them down as soon as you get a gift. So that could be where this is going. Are your cards as an aggro player worth more than the cards of the other player? I don't think so. I think you're probably fine with taking this small loss, even though resources are incredibly important in aggro. But if you have all the cards you need to win the game, the other cards are worthless, and you can go in with this.
I guess that's
if
fair.
that argument makes sense.
I guess that's fair. It's just
your cards are less valuable. You might as well trade them for damage.
Yeah, it's 1. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like if you're going first, you ride this card. Essentially, it says discard a card, deal a damage. That's fine, and it goes into your soul, I guess. So.
Okay, so. If you've been watching Damage Check for a long time, you're going to know that, or any video of any deck profile or any debate that I've ever had with Braxton or Ryan or anything, options are always preferred over not options. If this card only had the first skill, I'd be like, yeah, it's a very technical card. It won't get used a lot. I would still say you run it. One, because I think it's got. I mean, I think it still has its worth. But like, I think Andrew, you've completely taken aside its second skill, which is also incredibly potent. Like, this is a fantastic card. This is a good card, in my opinion, for the first skill, because it's the first card that's ever allowed this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the second skill, we had other cards like it. This is just the first one in standard, but it's never been a bad skill to have, ever. Like,
yeah, just a free plus 7K on a stand. Yeah, that's great.
Especially when risers can stand up to 2 dudes. This is the third dude that gets to get stood, just because the other dude got stood.
Maybe more.
Maybe more.
So you stand your Excel and whatever this column is in, and then the next time you reride, you can stand 2 Excels.
Exactly. And then, so here's my next thing that I want to make a point here. A 1-for-1 when you're the only one who gets that option to decide when your opponent's going to drop a card. I mean, you get to deal your opponent's you get to deal your opponent, like, you don't know what position he's in. He could be in a really garbage position and you're going to make him discard a card. Like, or he could be in a fantastic position and you're going to make him discard a card or take a damage. Both of which I'm sure he would be better off not doing. Yes, you sacrifice one card that goes into Soul, which I can agree. But hey, if you tech in another Battle Riser, I'm saying if you tech in another Battle Riser, you draw into that Battle Riser, you put that Battle Riser into Soul, things got a little spicy.
And I'll say, and I think this is very important, and we're definitely going to want to talk about this more once we see what the entire format looks like. We've gone back to a state of Vanguard where going first is the win. You get the first gift. You get something your opponent doesn't have. It's like striding first, except now they're in an even worse position because they don't even have as much power or resources on their side. There's no G-guarding. It's you and an extra circle bearing down on your 10k grade 2. The only advantage going second has is you get to balance out the game state because you get to deal them earlier damage. This cancels that and makes going first even better for Nova Grapplers. While it's a little bit of a win more situation, that's what aggro is all about.
It really is. It's the high roll.
Yeah, you roll high, you win. It's aggro. You roll medium, you don't play this card. You go second, you don't play this card. You know, you just use it for its second effect, which is still good, as Jose said.
Yeah, the second effect is the main reason to play this card, and then if you go first and happen to ride it, that's pretty good.
Yeah, this isn't good enough as a tech option on its own with just the first skill, but because it has both, I think it's a pretty awesome card.
Yeah,
I think it's not like super like, oh, you got to play this card, but I think it's worth playing. I think you should consider the situation in which you use the first effect. Second effect's great. We take those.
Playing risers. It'll definitely see playing risers with the guaranteed stand.
That's the only deck we're gonna see.
So I just want everyone in the chat to remember this moment, because the first time I'm gonna point this out to Ryan. It'll happen a few times, but I'm gonna remind Ryan about this conversation. The one time he has to G assist to grade 1. And his opponent went first, and he rides into custom and makes him drop a card. And he only has 4 cards when he G assists, and he has to discard 2 of them, and he's only down to 2 cards when he G assists. These are going to be the moments.
My point would be proved. Question mark? I'm like, this card. I mean, it's like you said, Jose. You don't know what kind of situation they're in. Their cards could be worthless, and you're still making them drop them because you're taking what little they have left, or they could be in a great position, not want to do anything and take a damage early, and then you kill them later. It's damage you didn't expect to have, putting you in a situation you didn't expect to be in playing this game ever.
That's true. That's true. We got a Magus. Ooh. It's one place. Check the top card. Put it on top of bottom.
One more thing about this. Wait a minute. No, they've changed that ruling. I was about to say, like, couldn't you only guard with triggers that are now an obscene amount of shield?
Yeah,
no,
they've changed it. Yeah.
I was like, wait, this card's really okay. It's exactly as good.
You can guard with grade 1s and 2s now.
Yeah.
We back in.
Right. Yeah. So Scry Magus and the other OTT card.
It's just the 7K.
7K vanilla with 15K shield.
I like that they did this the opposite way.
Yeah, I like it.
What's really crazy is that, like, and we can talk about this in a second, but it's getting really interesting, Andrew. And I think that like as someone who, you like to think about like the skill level of the game, how basically like we can't as players anymore just look at a grade and assume it's power level. We now have to like actually be observant, like, and think about what your opponent actually has in his hand versus what he doesn't. Because like, oh, is this guy running this 15K grade one? Is he running this 5K grade one shield? Is he running like shield value now varies across the levels? Is this man running PG draws? Is he running regular draws? Is he running 12 crit and he's running PGs? Is regular grade ones because those still exist? Like, it's just very like a lot of questions you have to ask yourself about your opponent's deck now. That like before you could just kind of assume like, all right, because like I would always look at the grade. I'm like, okay, he checked 1, 3, 2, and 2 1s for a stride turn or whatever. I'm like, okay, man drew 10K in shield. That's pretty set unless it's a PG, of course. But now, like, you can't really assume that. You have to know the card. You're like, it's a 15K.
It's like, oh, that's pretty much just a trigger in hand now.
And all the triggers are different, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, shield value is going to be a really interesting part of this game going to standard then. Because 10Ks are pretty much gone except for grade 1s and 2s.
Yeah, that's true. Overguarding is going to be a much more thing just because I'm not going to want to let go of these 1s and 2s. So I'm like, here, take this trigger. And the last spoiler is Iron Killer. When it attacks a Vanguard, if you have 3 or more rear guards, this unit gets power plus 5K until the end of turn.
Yeah,
to the end of battle. Yeah. So it's basic. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
14K beater boosted by the 9K. That's a 23 right there.
Boom. Got him.
Oh, there's one more spoiler. Spoiled earlier this morning.
Oh, what is it?
The OTT card. It's one of the single R's. So on rearguard, when he attacks a Vanguard, counterblast 1, draw 1, discard 1. It gets plus 6K. And then if you have a G3 Vanguard, you look at the top card of your deck and put it on top of their bottom.
Yeah, that's a good card. I kind of like that card.
Yep. So CB1, so you filter instead of draw. But I was thinking, okay, so you attack with this last, and you set up a defensive trigger. Suddenly, now everything is just awful for your opponent.
Yeah. Pretty good. I'm a fan. All right. So moving on to news really quick. So the first news I want to cover for Damage Check today is that it has pretty much been confirmed that Protect let's go the reverse thing. That Force clans are the only ones currently with 13K base. And Protect and Excel will be 12K bases. I don't know. First, so let me say, Ryan, do you think it's going to stick, or do you think that like as soon as we get some new, you think that as time goes on we're going to get 13K bases on Protect and Excel clans, or do you think they're going to be pretty adamant about it at least through the next couple sets? As we wait for Ryan.
Oh, calling for me. Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, I am here. What was the question again?
Dang it, Ryan.
Oh, you're killing us.
Do you think that they're going to stick to the 12K on, or do you think like 3 sets down the road we're going to see our first 13K base Protect unit or our first 13K base Excel unit?
I'm honestly surprised. Doesn't have more base power based around its archetype, and it is also going to be 12. I'm kind of surprised they did that and not make it like 12, 13, 14 or 11, 12, 13, something like that. I'm kind of surprised they didn't do that. But keep in exactly one of they have more base power than any other clan. They can't do that. I mean, we're no longer living in a time where like port a year and you can unbalance them. Because clans are getting the Bermuda treatment, every clan's getting one set of support every year. You can't just make stuff stronger later. That's unfair to the clans that come before then. And then you just go through this dumb cycle where people play some clans the first half of the year and some clans the latter half of the year instead of just letting everyone play what they want to all the time. I think it's going to stick to these general rules because if Bushiroad starts unbalancing stuff because Shadow Paladins are cool, then we're going to have an unhealthier game than we had previously.
And you do know that's the reason why they would do it too.
Yeah, they would totally do it. Return to set BT05.
PBD, 15k base power. Shadow Paladins are cool.
No, okay, so the next question is to Andrew. Andrew, does this make you mad? Does this frustrate you?
Yes.
It doesn't really upset me, but
yes, it absolutely upsets me because let me give my thoughts on this matter. Is that so I played this game back when the first sets came out. Back when the original bases were 10k bases. When 11k Vanguards came out, they were straight up better because a lot of the number lines that people were hitting were 20s. The only clan that could hit 21k easily at the time was Royal Paladin with Palamedes. Everyone else had to go for 16k. But some clans could hit 20, and those clans were advantaged over the clans that only had 10k bases as opposed to those that had 11k bases. So that's exactly what I see here, is that, well, we have a 12k base and a 13k base. If you hit 22, you're going to do real well against Nova Grapplers and OTT, and you're not going to do so well against Force clans. So that 1k power actually really does matter because the magic numbers, 23 is a little harder to do than 22 based on the spoilers we've gotten so far. Because OTT has a lot of like 9k plus 6 plus 7, which is, well, was it? 9k plus 6, 15, 20, which is 22. So we can't hit 23 that easily. It's like 9k plus 6 plus 7 is like, okay, well, 22, great. That's great against Nova Grapplers. It's great against other OTT. And then Force, it's like, here's a 10k grade 1 guarded. So it might be better since they have 15k triggers now. So the shield values are going to be a little more variable, and it might be a little sort of easier to guard with. But I don't like that they're giving different Vanguard powers right off the bat. Because I remember back when 11k base and when Crossfights came out, the 13k base was a supreme advantage because of the magic numbers. And I don't like they're going back to that.
Okay. All right. I think those are both very fair points. One addendum I would just make is that Draconic Overlord was in the first trial deck and he was at 11k base.
Yeah, it's pretty busted. It's pretty busted.
But I think that it's hard to argue with what you're saying, Andrew, because a lot of it's true. But I don't know. I'm just not as concerned, I guess. I don't know why. I'm just not as concerned. I think front triggers kind of make a huge difference for Excel clans. I think because they'll be the only ones with that trigger. You have to find some kind of way to balance it out, in my opinion. So I think the front trigger does a good job there. I really think that giving Protected 12k base was a very interesting decision. I don't think that should have been done. I think they should have had 13. I think they should have had 14. It would have made more sense that way. But I mean, really, but hopefully they'll find some way to gain power. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Princess Daughter will be like, if you have 5 more cards, your entire board gets a base 1k. Oh sweet, we made it. But I think that they'll figure it out. It's an interesting step. At least we now know where the line is, though. You know, we know where the line is. Force is gonna have 13k bases. Everything else is 12. We know where the line is. So at least for now, hopefully they don't do what Ryan suggested that'll happen, and some clan comes out of nowhere like Aqua Force, 14k bases. Suck it.
No, I think what you said does make sense, though, is that previously all triggers were 5k, all the shields were 10k and 5k increments, but now that we're getting 15k shields and 20k shields and 10k triggers, the math becomes a lot harder and it's a lot more fungible, I guess. So I think the worry is a little less, since a plus 10k changes your shield calculations a lot more compared to what it was before. So it probably matters less.
Also, in the start of Vanguard, there wasn't a bunch of skills that gave things power, in stage increments. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't Amaterasu didn't that level of kind of just every time you look at it, it gets plus 5k. That card didn't exist in set 1, or that
it was plus 4k.
It was plus 4k. You know what I'm saying? But stuff like that just didn't exist, and a lot of rear guards that gave power in that kind of increment just didn't kind of happen. It seemed to me, at least. So I think that it is a concern, definitely something to keep an eye out of, but I don't think that people should rush to like damn standard into hell already. I mean, shoot.
We're going to have to see what the full spoiled set looks like, because I worry that they're not going to balance it correctly. But who knows? Maybe the change values on all the cards will make a big difference for the start of this set.
I mean, yeah, and I will cover this into the topic here in a minute. Ryan, you got anything you want to add real quick? Okay.
Guess not. Looks like he's cut out again.
So the next piece of news is, Andrew, did you watch the new episode of Vanguard? And by the new episode, the reboot episode?
You mean the first episode?
The first episode?
Yeah. Aichi's so weak now. So weak.
I did too. I loved it, man. I loved it from the beginning to the end. I thought the animation was beautiful. I thought a lot of the character development was well done. I don't like the way that they've like drawn Aichi, but I mean that's a personal preference. They've made Aichi like very, very like drawn very feminine in this series, as compared to like in the past. But I still think that the story was really. I mean, it was brought back to like just go to your local card shop. This bully took your card. Get back your card, kid. I really liked it. You have any comments, Andrew?
I'm excited for the second episode to be able to see Aichi face Kai, try to beat him without any grade 3s in his deck, or maybe he'll finally show the VR that we've been waiting for Royal Paladins. He's probably just going to win on Blaster Blade again, like the first episode of the original series.
Yeah. He'll probably get Ganslot in like episode 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Like he did.
He'll just call a bunch of cards and then swing Blaster Blade with a crit, and Kai's like, I guess I just don't guard and take the crit.
He'll probably check another crit too.
Yeah, so he'll swing like rear guard, and then he attacks the Vanguard, checks the crit, and Kai's like, I could have guarded that, but I didn't. Here's your card back.
Here's your card back, kid. I had a lot of fun. Let's play again sometime. No, I still think I'm hoping for a Gansalot, because like that's the one grade 3 I haven't seen. Like from like, because like Perfect Rise, I'm like sweet. Where's my freaking Gansalot? Like, where's my Blaster Blade Searcher card? I don't get it. This sucks. No, I'm kidding. But like,
yeah, can we just talk about like Polars for a second and how we have no idea how this is gonna work?
Oh yeah, the triple R splits in the set.
So far, we have what now?
You're talking about the triple R split in the set?
Yeah, how we have like some of them and we know their numbers, but some are still a mystery. And it just so happens that Royals and Kagero haven't shown if they're going to have additional secondary grade 3s or if we're just stuck with the trial deck ones and OTT gets a third triple R. Because that could happen. Kagero could just end up with a 2 and a 1, and Royal Paladins could have like 2 2s and a 1, and OTT could have a 3 and a 2 and a 1. Like OTT could still have more triple Rs, and we might not have anything past what comes in the trial decks.
I also have a hard time believing that Tom is going to be a grade 2 in the reboot because he's such a popular card.
He's going to be a triple R though.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to make him a grade 3s. I think he'll still be a grade 2.
No, I still think I mean a triple R. Like I have a hard time believing he'll be a double R, given how much of a popular card he is now. Like they made air mode jump from a rare to or a common to a triple R. Like, so yeah, I'm Ryan. What'd you think of the episode? Did you watch it yet?
I haven't seen the episode, but I assume it was good. I've heard it was good.
Wow.
I haven't watched this anime since, God, when is it? The Reverse Arc, maybe? No, I watched the Reverse Arc. I don't watch this show.
Go watch it immediately. No, it's a good episode. Because I'm probably going to watch episode 2. I'm probably going to watch this entire series, to be honest. This entire series seems like it's going to be fun.
It does look like it'll be fun. Looks like they're trying to keep it relatively high quality this time.
I can get behind that. All right, and quickly, we're going to talk about our topic pretty fast because there's not much. It's just really just how much of a just snore. There's just how much of a like just drag on event Standard has been. Not Standard, but like the spoiler season. Because basically like One, because it's kind of hard to get through the beginning of the summer to begin with, because like all you get is like Bermudas for like a month.
Yeah.
For spoilers, like, and it's rough. And then you get excited when you start trickling with the new stuff. But then, like, dude, man, we've been getting like common after common after common. Like our biggest like dump of like spoilers was like the freaking Riser one, and then before that it was leaks. It wasn't even like actual like spoilers; it was leaks. So it's just like, oh man, it's been a slug out, draw out brawl.
It's not even a brawl. This is just a snore fest.
It's just been so like, and we've been talking about it because like, so usually like our Team Absolution chat, like where we all talk about like cards and spoil, like usually it's pretty lively. You know, Keith's jumping in there talking about like cool stuff. Like Braxton's like, whoa, look at this card. Like lately, it's been kind of a ghost town just because like, it's like, I mean, I guess this card's kind of cool. If I knew maybe what more OTT cards were out or coming out, maybe I'd have a better idea.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like Kagro is kind of, we've kind of shaped. I think Kagro has gotten enough spoilers we can kind of shape it around finally. But the point is, like, it's been since March. Was it March that they announced? Yeah, early March that Standard was announced, and so it's been about 60 days. And it's just been like, wow, I cannot wait until, because the set drops next week, right?
2 weeks from now. But the
2 weeks from now.
But the pre-release, if they're doing sneak peeks, is next weekend. So
yeah, so like, yeah, so finally we're gonna know, like, it's over. Like, it's over. We're gonna know what's in this set.
we're still missing 3 VRs and 3 triple Rs and a bunch of double Rs.
My guess is that they're just gonna have to like dump them all next Tuesday, and next damage check is gonna be one for the ages. Ryan, what about you, man? How you been feeling this spoiler season? How's Card Fight Cash been affected?
Well, considering that we have almost nothing to talk about and the market is stagnating, so here, yep. Ever wanted to buy anything in G-Era? Just do it. It's not going to be a better price. It might be. It might just keep slipping lower, but it's good enough now. If you see it might be good in premium, pick up the copies. You might as well. Like Maelstrom got teased. That could be fun with some old Maelstrom stuff and a new deck that's centered around that. If it gets specially support. I will say, if you didn't watch this week's episode, there was an episode this week because we've been doing bi-weekly because there's nothing to talk about. I did notice that the most expensive card in Angel Feathers right now is Black Seraph Gavrail, and everything else is like, except for Hemiel, the promo that got hyped to all hell, is like $2. If you ever wanted to play Angel Feather and you think that'll be good with Protect and you want to get the strides, just do it for like, God, how much is that?
$20.
$80? Yeah, it's like $80 to get that entire G zone. Just do it. Just write it off on your taxes. I don't care. Do whatever you want.
Commit tax fraud. I'm not here. Whatever.
I didn't tell you to do it, and I'm not a lawyer.
So I'm just ready for the set to be out. Really, I'm ready for Standard to come in and Premium to come in, because the thing is, like, that's another whole aspect to this. Like Andrew and I, like, you know, we played at locals, and like he just dropped Bermudas on us, and you know, I knew they were gonna be good. It's like I was gonna be like, oh, like this is garbage. Obviously, but the Bermuda spoilers were good cards, but it was like, yeah, but I mean, this is the end. Like for like a month, it's just gonna be Bermudas and what else is there. And the thing is, like, at this point, G format is kind of solidified to this kind of like solid state. Just thrown in Bermudas as like 2 other decks that are pretty good, and then onto like the 6 decks that are also pretty good. So they just keep battling it out, which is fine. I mean, look, I love playing Fidesz. I will keep playing Fidesz until Standard and Premium go into full swing. But man, am I ready for Standard and Premium to go into full swing. And as time goes on, I'm getting more and more excited for Premium because I want to see what kind of stuff happens.
What kind of crazy stuff happens?
Yeah. I'm excited for the rule changes. I'm excited for June, man. I'm just ready for June. And like every day is just another day of another spoiler that I'm just like, man, I really want a good card.
You just want to play with these cards already.
But we've got a little bit of time. We just want you to know that like we're also taking this time. You know, I know Ryan's still doing Card Fight Catch every other week right now. Andrew is not talking as much on Best Absolution. That's our Absolution chat as we used to. Same thing with me and the rest of the squad. It's just like we're all taking this time to kind of recharge and wait and see what comes out. And I guess we also need to figure out how we're going to talk about standard and premium once these two formats are in full swing. We'll probably do one section for one section for the other kind of stuff. So I don't know.
We really just don't know. We need to see what all the cards do first, and then we can really start judging power levels.
I concur. So I'm going to hand off things really quick to Ryan to see if he has any final words. In the meantime, rev up those hashtag Absolutions. Ask Absolutions, and let us know what questions you guys have for us.
What do you want to know?
What do you want to know? Ryan, you got any last words?
Ryan's internet terrible?
Dude, that's the real question.
We
That's
all
the real
want
question.
We all want to know the answer to that.
It's only this time. This is the only time this happens.
Hashtag Ask Absolution. What do you think about subclans in standard affecting premium? For example, Mega's boss is machining Spark Hercules, but machinings don't work well with Redora, so it seems clunky. Well, I think that you answered your own question there, friend.
Yeah, that's just how it is. It's clunky. It's just going to be clunky until more support comes out.
So that's a kind of crap answer from us, though. We didn't really. I mean, you did. So the real question is going to be: is the Hercules worth making the deck clunky? That's going to be the question you have to ask yourself.
It'll depend on if you want the gift or not. Which it'll be Protect, right? I think. Protect. So yeah, if you want the Protect gift, then yeah, in premium you run machining Spark Hercules. Otherwise, you don't.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how gifts will affect the meta as an overall. Because because gifts are the first mechanic since I would say Limit Break, where the next mechanic played obviously into it. Break Rides obviously played into Limit Break, and then they worked synergized pretty well. And then Legion and Stride were such oil and water that they didn't mix very well. But now Gifts and Stride mix incredibly well because of the way Gift is structured. So it's really going to come down to one, how Gifts affect the meta, and then two, the specific card in question and how is the clunk worth it?
Mm-hmm.
So what's coming to my mind over and over with this question is just I'm continuously thinking about the first ever good Stride deck I played was Thingsaver Jewel Knights with Strides. You want to talk about a clunk. You have to force that deck together. Because, it's got Jewel Knights with Thingsaver as a Legion, and then you also have Strides. And Strides don't work with Legion, and you have to force as many Jewel Knights as possible to make the deck work to begin with. So it's just this hodgepodge of not garbage, it's a great deck. It was a great deck. But you have to force all this oil and water together and then make it work. And that's it. Is it worth that kind of experience? If it is, then yeah, you'll play it. If it's not, then you just won't.
Yeah, it just depends on power level. That's all there is to it. Hashtag Ask Absolution. Do you think Resist is gone? Resist is a keyword. Seems to be not coming back, but there are cards that say this can't be chosen. Wasn't there another spoiler that said this card can't be chosen?
Yes, there was.
Yeah, so Resist still exists. It just looks like the Resist keyword is gone.
And it could come back at any time. I mean, I think here the real question is going to be if Aqua Force has a Resist unit, because it's the one that really gave the birth of Resist. I think, if I remember right,
gave that birth.
Yeah, it was the first Resist keyword card, I think.
Yeah, so if Aqua Force has Resist as a keyword in it, then Resist is back. But I would think it might be safe to assume that for now the Resist keyword is gone. Hashtag Ask Absolution. How do you think the release schedule will affect the meta? That's a very broad question. Incrementally.
Yeah. Same way that the original release schedule affected the meta. Good decks from the new set get played. Good decks from the old sets get played. Bad decks don't get played.
I mean, it is nice that, like, I mean, to some degree, I imagine Ryan has to be happy that he gets to build Kagura once the rest of this year, and that's it. Like, he doesn't have to worry about it. If he wants to play something else, it's going to be a whole new experience because, like, Kagura's not going to get support in 3 more sets. Like, at least he knows that the cards he has aren't going to get outdated within the same clan within the same time span. Because one thing that was really rough in Stride era was, like, literally buying Stargate set Link Joker stuff and then immediately, or like the Link Joker set stuff, like for Starvaders in the Link Joker set, and then immediately replacing some of those cards that I just purchased with new cards from the new Link from new
Galaxy Stargate.
From Galaxy Stargate. Like, that's a crappy feeling when those sets were like 2 months apart. I can't tell. Is Ryan saying something?
No, I couldn't hear him.
Okay, cool. Just thinking sure. Do you think they'll release all of the clans in 1 year? No. I don't think that's doable.
Well, they said they would, though.
Wait, they said they're going to release all the clans in a 12-hour span?
Oh, by the end of the year in a 12-month span?
They can do that.
Well, you said, how do you think they will release? Oh, how do you think they will release all the clans in 1 year?
The same way they're doing it right now. 4 clans a month.
Every clan gets something every year. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 clans a month.
That's enough.
You can do it for 6. You can do two releases a year then at 4 clans a month, because that's 24 clans in 6 months.
I don't know, man. I guess they have to. I bet you. Okay, so here's a cool question. This is a Jose Ask a Solution to my teammates. What are going to be the last 4 clans?
Link Joker, Gear Chronicle, Nubatama.
Bermudas, maybe. Or they might show up in January.
Yeah, Bermudas might get an anime set. Who else? Token Ranbu.
I don't know if that counts.
Sorry, that actually chuckled me because I was like, "What did they did?"
What are the unconfirmed sets right now? Like Gold Paladin, Link Joker,
Gear Chronicle,
Nubatama, Great Nature.
I think so. I definitely agree with your first 3. Definitely those are going to be the last clans that we can see.
Yeah, support. Link Joker, Gear Chronicle, Nubatama. They'll be the last for sure. We don't know what the 4th one is.
That's true. Also, one piece of news that I seriously forgot. Next spring, we're going to get the Vanguard game in the United States.
Well, let's not count our chickens.
Yeah, okay, I'm not counting my chickens. That's what they say. Let's go with that first. Let's see
Vanguard
if they
mobile game.
Let's see if they make their December release for the Japanese market first.
Yeah.
Then I'll make the same. But that's what they've said is going to happen. Yeah. So that's exciting. It's worth bringing up. The mobile
Vanguard game.
Vanguard 0, I believe it's called.
But it's going all the way back to original BTO1, I think. It's not going to be V-Series.
Well, hold on, though. That's not true because the advert for the US release had Stride cards on the back.
What?
Yes. It had Gear Next and like one of the Neo Nectar cards, and I feel like it was New Atmile, the newest Atmile.
Huh.
And I was like, this is whoa.
Maybe it'll be V-Series. Who knows?
So
I was hoping for like some solid, just like you're gonna play standard on this and you're gonna like it type gameplay. Like I would have liked that, using the game to explore standard and do stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Means you have to buy cards twice.
Oh well.
Well, they could always put packs in the packs, you know?
Like they were going to, yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to do it.
No, I think though, if they do a price structure, they'll probably do the same way Pokemon does. I mean, it's a very successful Pokemon strategy to put the stuff in the packs. I wish Yu-Gi-Oh did it, but they they're already making so much money. Plus, the game works completely different there.
Yeah, it's not the same. So dual links.
What are your thoughts on Bushiroad saying that Force is more suitable for beginners? I would agree with them.
I agree with it. It's very straightforward. Plus 10k.
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, you could argue that there's something more complicated about the clans to the other clans, maybe. But like, as far as a mechanic goes, as a gift, that is the simplest one.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Protect putting like this random card into your hand that has to be like in a different sleeve. Like Excel putting a brand new circle on the board. Force is absolutely the simplest one.
Yep. I think Ryan agrees as well.
Yeah, his internet's cutting out again, huh?
Hashtag Absolution. Do you feel that if standard come to being more person going first wins, that they will implement certain units to counter the pressure at times? Sure, I believe that that's true. I mean, we're gonna have to see how it comes out.
I have no faith in Bushiroad being able to do that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But the thing is, like, they never really figured out a way to get out of going second in stride meta. And they never found a really strong counter to that.
It's something that every card game struggles with, is that the person who goes first or the person who goes second just has an advantage. That's just how it is. It's inherent to all card games.
Very true. Very, very true. And with that, I think that we are going to end Damage Check here, boys and girls. I want to thank you all for watching as always. Please hit the subscribe button down below. Yeah, and always check us out on Discord and Facebook as we wait for the release of Standard. We'll see you here next week. Hopefully, maybe next week, Ryan will be in full swing with better internet.
Hopefully.
Maybe we'll actually have some more VRs. Don't hold your
I hope
breath.
so.
Don't hold your breath.
Please. Goodbye, everybody.